Whoa, hey, it's another Wisdom Wednesday, Adam. And you know what it's time for? You to tell us what you learned this week.
Okay, great. So this weekend I went and saw the new Spider-Man movie.
Really?
Yeah, you were there. And he was there, and he was there, and he was there. I really wanted to talk about some of the things that I learned in terms of the animation techniques that they implemented into this, because the movie itself is so visually stunning.
Like one.
One of the things that they did is they have a pretty diverse animation style, and so they used lots of different illustrators to create all of the different styles that you'll see through the many scenes throughout the movie.
Two.
They took out some of the traditional techniques that are used in modern day animation, things like motion blur. They really wanted to make sure that it was relatable to the original comics. And so by taking out that motion blur, all of the illustration and the animation is very sharp and has this kind of static quality to it. And the other thing that they did,
Three,
is they did what's called step animation. They moved the motion of the characters on the second and third frames of the animation that gives it this kind of staccato feel, which has that kind of really unique texture that you see throughout the animation. Did you know that?
No.
Why not? Because you didn't read the New York Times article that I read right before we filmed this video.
Wow. Look at that.
One of the other cool things that I learned about the most recent sequel to the Spider-Man movie is that they brought in a 14-year-old animator to animate one of the scenes.
That's interesting. You know, I always wonder about stories like that because they're always like, he was 14 years old. And I was like, when was he 14 years old? Like, was he 14 years old when he made it? Because that movie was like 4 or 5 years ago. So now the kid's probably 20. That's not a kid anymore. He's 20 years old.
I think he was 14 when they made the sequel.
When they made the sequel. So he was like 9 years old when he made an animation. And then I think about that and I was like, what was I doing when I was 9 years old?
I was dancing to The Little Mermaid.
I have no idea. I was making cardboard boxes. Probably like freaked out because my parents were screaming at each other about to get a divorce. Anyways, that's really interesting, Adam. I'm so glad that you read that New York Times article.
Chris, what did you learn this week?
What did I learn this week? I learned that I spent over
Watch the next video to find out.